it is time to bring Scott Drew onto the Mosley show. And there he is. Scott, great to have you early in the proceedings here today. Welcome and congratulations on a victory. Bears, hopefully, maybe you'll put a little win streak together here.
Man, that would be nice. As you said, good win over West Virginia, who actually had the longest win streak in the Big 12 at 16 games, 13-0 at home. We could have used that jacket that you're wearing right now because it was cold there. It was even worse in Cincinnati at the hotel we were at. The boiler went out. So I think we had frostbite on our hands come game time.
I'm confused by the name of that place. Is it like the Fifth and Third? Is it where it's located? Is that why, or is that like a bank?
The bank. It's a bank.
Okay. Yeah. All right. The Fifth Third Arena, whatever that is. Okay. Out of those two places, what y'all have had a tremendous, actually you've won at both places, but you hadn't had as much experience at Cincinnati. You've got a kind of a crazy streak against West Virginia now. They haven't beaten y'all in maybe 8 straight times or something crazy like that. And even when they were working on Bridges a few years ago, that was a rough crowd he encountered there. Y'all pulled that game out. What is of those two, what's the toughest environment, would you say?
Well, I think West Virginia, I remember the first time we were ranked number 1. I think it was 2017 or 2018. And going down to that game, that was pretty ruckus. And I think their half-off beer specials probably lead to some of that before the games. But those fans can get after you a little bit. And they used to have a student newspaper that was they would find information on our guys that they're like, how did they figure that out? I haven't dated her in 3 years or whatever. So, they would have some good inside stuff.
Doing their research. I think the Baylor fans, at least for a while, I don't know if they still do that, but like when the other team was being announced, they would hold up a newspaper or something like that. And that, Scott, with what's happened to newspapers in this country, that's a good thing. You've got a college-age daughter. That she did not grow up reading newspapers. Although, I don't know, maybe because of you grew up like I did. That was how it is interesting, though, because even me, having been in the newspaper business, I get it all online still. I still subscribe to the Waco Trib and the morning news, but I do it online.
It's amazing how things change over time as you go from landlines to telephone booths to. I remember when my first year coaching at Valparaiso University in 93, 94, the biggest job I had was make sure on our 8-hour bus trips we had the right motivational movies. So you had to be at Blockbuster or Box Office Video when the new releases just came out and made sure you got them checked out. And it's amazing you mentioned VHS, and none of our guys would have any clue what that means, or a VCR.
When y'all head out to Ames or whatever on the chartered flight, do you have a team movie, or is it now just everybody's doing their own thing? Do you ever, I know on a bus ride, if you had to go to Austin back in the day or Fort Worth or wherever, you would actually put a movie on in the bus. Now on the plane, you don't really have that option, do you? Everybody's just kind of on their own stuff.
Everybody's on their own, and everyone's got their own stuff on their phone.
What was your go-to? What was like the best? I would guess you liked Hoosiers because that's the land where you came from. Remember the Titans, I would think,
100%
in your rotation. Anything else?
Other
like action film or anything that would you felt like would get the guys going a little bit?
No, I think what gets me going might not get them going. There's been so many good baseball movies, to Miracle in hockey, to we were watching a Hustle on one of the bus trips this year. We were watching, remember the Titans on one of them. But that's the great thing about sports movies. You can find a ton of great ones that are really motivational. And Remember the Titans probably at the top.
Yeah.
Rocky. Now it's Creed for everybody, but the Rockies back in the day were pretty nice.
All right, and we all can quote all the Hoosiers lines, and I used to study for at Baylor. I used to have to take Old Testament and New Testament, and one of my best finals ever didn't have a lot of great scores, but was in New Testament. And my buddy and I had stayed up all night, and we played the soundtrack to Hoosiers as we studied, and it really had a positive impact in Naaman Keithley's New Testament class. Now, where you went at Butler, I don't think they were making you take a lot of religious classes.
No,
but
I tell you what, Hoosiers, I remember Coach Mills, now is at Wichita State. He had that whole movie memorized. Like we didn't even have to, we just say, all right, go ahead. He could have recited the whole thing.
And he would go into a place and go, fellas, the baskets are the same as they are back at our gym in Hickory. And he could pull off some of that stuff when y'all would go into certain gyms, I'm sure. Okay. How much of an emphasis, Scott, was y'all got off to a fast start?
Yep.
And you have had games where you kind of singe the nets early, then you go cold. You've had at least one game, the Oklahoma State game, where you shot it well the whole game. Though, it's going to ebb and flow a little bit. But I've seen you in the past do interesting things like to try to get better starts. Like you've actually started warm-ups earlier. You've really put a ton of thought into this over the years. Was that a big point of emphasis going into this game? Like, hey, let's throw the first punch kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, every game you try different motivation tactics. You if there's a trend like we haven't started well, is it change our warm-ups, get them out earlier, get them out later? Is it focusing more on the defense early? Is it focusing more on the offense? I mean, if something's not working, I can promise you we're not going to keep doing the same thing. But I thought what was really important in the West Virginia game was defensively, we were really good in that first media timeout. And usually if you have a good defensive possession, you can throw in a little transition offense, which makes things easier. Oklahoma State, same thing. We got off to a great start, but both games you made shots, both games you got stops, both games you got into some transition, and that helped with things.
All right, and it seemed like the defense, even the defensive rebounding, Cam Carr ends up with 12 rebounds in that game, and I think that was really big for you. It seemed like you stayed in man-to-man maybe the entire game. I mean, even more than, the whole game. What was your thought process on, hey, let's just stick with this? And I think in the past, you've kind of let your guys, like what they're best at, dictate in some ways. And I remember one of those great teams you had, Jared or somebody, was like coming up to you, I want to, please let us play man-to-man. Or, there was a little bit of that going on. What was the game plan? Because it just seemed like they really struggled. And when that kid started to get hot, Eagle Staff, I believe is his name, it wasn't like the kid from Tech who just, was like, oh my God, will this ever end? Kind of got that put away and put out that fire. What kind of went into the game plan and what led to you guys seemingly executing it? Because they went long stretches without scoring.
Well, I think first our offense dictates our defense at times. And if you come down and take a quick bad shot, that puts them in transition. You come down, have a live ball turnover, that puts them in transition. You put a team in transition, you're probably giving up buckets. So our offense had turnovers, but we didn't have as many live ball turnovers, and we were able to set our defense on the live ball turnovers we had for the most part. So if you get a half-court defense, that gives you a chance to begin with. Second of all, every game plan you go into, and I mean, I know you're a big football guy. If they're going to put 8 in the box, probably the passing game's open more, and if they're passing all the time, you might adjust and go with more DBs and rush 3. But with basketball, we looked at West Virginia and we thought, our best chance to win is playing man. Against Cincinnati, we thought our best chance was zone. And that's why we played more zone in that game. Some games we go in and it's 50-50 and you see what happens. Some of it's led by your personnel. If you get down to where you don't have a big bench because someone's injured, someone's sick, someone's out, foul trouble. That might lead to what you're doing defensively as well. So I can tell you, I'm for whatever defense gives us the best chance to win. And again, all that goes into if you got 6 healthy in your rotation, you might zone more. If you got 8 healthy, you might man more. If the team shoots a bunch of threes, what's the best way to take away the 3? Sometimes it's in zone, sometimes it's in man. Like Tech, we started out zoning, and that didn't work. We went to man, that didn't work. Like there was no defense working against them that night. Probably 10% of the game we were in zone and 90 in man. So I think we all agree on one thing, though. If you can start out well, it's harder for shooters that miss the first couple to get on track than it is to shooters that make the first couple. And I mean, just same thing with a quarterback. He throws a couple completions. Now it's easier to throw the long ball or whatever else. And with basketball, if we can have shooters, scorers get out first couple tough, doesn't mean they're not going to get them off, but if you don't give them easy ones, hopefully they don't get in a rhythm and a groove. And we were able to do that against West Virginia. And every game we go into, I mean, that you come up with a game plan. You know what? If we execute, we think this can work. And then what happens is now you got to go to plan B and C when the A doesn't work.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only thing about going through a really rough stretch is the wins are even sweeter. I mean, I would think if anything, Scott, like this season, and hopefully it's just a glitch or it's just a one, aberration. But I think it's going to make you appreciate the wins even more. And like they got a taste of that the other night, and I even saw in some of the cinematic post game kind of stuff, Obi or somebody in one of those huddles was like, "We're better than our record shows." Now I'm kind of like, the old Parcells, you are what you are. You are what your record is, but that's okay for players to have that belief that, hey, we feel like we're better than 1-7, and that's okay. But again, you got to go out and show it, and you did against West Virginia. And now the thing is, trying to build on that. Obi is an interesting guy. We sometimes focus on what he can't do, which he's not ever going to outquick somebody, and he's not like a great like penetrating guy, although he does it from time to time. What you were hoping he was a big time shot maker, and at least in that game, and in other games too. But when they were making a run, when things were happening, like in a game like that, where suddenly nobody's scoring for a while in the second half, a shot feels like 10 points, right? It's like, oh my gosh, we're back up by 7, or we're back up by whatever it was. Even though he struggled this year at times, he's a willing shooter, isn't he? I mean, like what? I just kind of wanted to ask you about his makeup, because these guys hopefully they don't read everything, but they probably do hear some of it. This guy's not performing, that guy's not performing. Obi stepped up for you big in that one.
Yeah. Well, I think first and foremost, as a coach, what we try to do is we try to control what we can control. When the shot goes up, some of them are going in, some of them aren't. You look at the best shooters in the NBA, probably if someone shoots 40% or above from 3, they're considered a good shooter. That means they're missing 6 out of 10. Look in baseball, I mean, if you hit over 300, that means 7 times out of 10 you're not getting on base. So with us, what can we concentrate after we miss the shot? Our offensive rebounding would be the next thing. So with Obi, he is someone that is a really good shooter, and if he gets good looks, he's going to make a good percentage. With that, even if he's the best shooter in the world, he's going to miss 5 out of 10. So what are we doing on the miss to give us the best chance to get that rebound and go from there? I think coaching wise too, the hardest thing about flipping a roster is you want to put your guys in the best positions to be successful. Sometimes you don't know what that is until you see where they succeed and where they fail. And what you think might work doesn't work, and what you think wouldn't work does work. And through process of elimination and then also improvement in certain areas, I think Obi's gotten a lot better coming off screens and getting himself open. I think we've done a better job setting screens for him. I think our passing has been better on our reads to on time, on target. So there's a lot that goes into getting guys the ball where they need it, when they need it, how they need it, and where they're most comfortable. I think we found out other things about, Tunde and Mikey have done a pretty good job in the post. They've shown that they can not only score down there, but they can pass out of it. And so as we found out guys' different strengths and things that translate and work, it allows us to hopefully put them in more positions to be successful. So my point in saying all of that is it's kind of like the first time you ever do a podcast or have your own show. There's certain things that'll work better than you thought, certain things that don't work as well as you thought. The only way you know it is that experience. And then the next year you're better at it because you have more experience to start out with. And that's been one of the challenges this year is guys playing in the Big 12, playing for the first time with Baylor, and us figuring each other out and trying to put each other in the best positions to be successful. And again, it goes back to the dream teams had more talent than anyone in the world, but yet weren't able to be successful. So if talent is similar, chemistry and stability and experience really matter. Now, if talent is so great that it doesn't matter, then that's great. But in college basketball, you don't have a ton of that just elite talent. You have a lot of good talent and people that, and that's why I think, again, you look at most of the teams that have been successful in the Big 12 this year, there's some kind of experience coming back. So just stating, we're figuring out our guys, they're figuring out us, we're figuring out the Big 12. Hopefully we finish a lot better than we started.
Does a guy like Caden, like who has kind of helped you keep everybody? You got to have, when things are going rough, it's easy for a team to kind of turn on each other. You got two NBA possible big time prospects. I mean, you could, people could start kind of, well, you'll be in the NBA next season. I mean, it would be easy to let this thing kind of landslide against you. Who's done a good job on your roster? And I know the coaches have had to do a lot of this as well, but in trying to keep folks' spirits up, because the truth is, you're huge on culture, but none of these guys, they had to kind of learn the Baylor culture in the middle of it, right? It was probably nice to go overseas and all of that. But again, it's not like guys have a huge frame of reference. This is how Baylor does it. And most of these guys have probably not been through major losing streaks and kind of things like that. Who's done a good job for you, like leadership wise, making sure guys don't start to turn on each other?
Well, I think the one thing that I'd be most proud of with this team is I don't think we missed on character. And the guys have been who we thought they were as far as representing the school off the court in a way that can make all Baylor University proud. We call it preparing champions for life. So, I mean, spiritually, we've had 6 people in our program baptized. Academically, we've had higher GPA, one of the highest we've had in 23 years. Involved as far as with the campus, I think our guys are respected, appreciated, liked on campus. And the Baylor built, they've done a good job with that program and just their involvement with the different people they interact with in the community and at the college. So first and foremost, that has been what we thought. Individually, we got a lot of different guys that have all poured in at different times. I mean, the one that Caden Powell is someone from Waco, loves Baylor through and through. and he's a great teammate. He's a selfless teammate. He's been outstanding. JJ hadn't played most of the year, but he's got one of those infectious energy giver personalities. People respect his work ethic during this recovery, but prior to his injury as well, just how hard he worked, and he loves Baylor. He's done a phenomenal job. But I can also go around and everybody at different times has poured in. And you mentioned Cam and Tunde. I mean, Cam has come a long way maturity-wise. Not saying he was immature, just he's so much more vocal on the court. So much more committed to trying to make sure everybody's on the same page, doing the right things. As far as winning plays, like you mentioned, 12 rebounds, just embracing all facets of the game. We're coming out of high school. He was a dynamic scorer and a great athlete, but he's continued to improve and grow and mature. Tunde's a freshman. But yet, I don't know if anyone loves winning as much as Tunde either. I mean, he was extremely excited after the win, and I mean, Cam's throwing up and could have gone in the locker room, said I ain't coming back, but he's like, no, he threw up, and I'm back on the court playing. Like, so my point is, again, I can go through every name on the list, so I don't want to cheat anybody, but the team has been who we thought they were character-wise. And as far as playing wise, I think it's been eye-opening to all of us just how hard it is if you flip your entire roster. And again, even like we play at West Virginia, and Ross done an amazing job, but two of the starters he'd coached, had been with them, knew what he wanted. So they were like, it's really hard to have nobody.
Yeah. Well, Ross has been with Grant.
Mm-hmm.
And he's familiar with like a 7-minute. You remember Grant used to have that philosophy at UNT where it was like, okay, the next score wins. And that would be with like 10 minutes left in the game. And that was a good line from the announcer the other day, that Mark Adams, when y'all hit a bucket, it'd been a long stretch in the second half. And he said, this is the best 2-0 run in the history of college basketball.
But you know what? It was great that we kept competing when we didn't make shots. And there's a lot of teams, and there's times this year when our offense missing shots, not just from a transition defensive standpoint, but from just the mental makeup, like you get dejected and now you're not that next play mentality. And the fact that we were able to get as many stops, I think we had 9 in a row at one time.
Yeah. Okay. Lastly, Colorado coming in, huge game for both of these teams. You desperately kind of need to build on that win. Colorado coming off a great win after they'd been on a losing streak. I think the teams are kind of in similar shape right now in terms of they're just trying to, and Tad seemed like he found something from his team. I was reading some of his comments, and he's like, this is what we were trying to be like the whole season. So I'm sure you've taken a long look at Saturday's game against TCU. What are you seeing from Colorado? What do you have to really focus in on tomorrow?
Well, I mean, Colorado got off to a great start in the non-conference. A lot of momentum, a lot of success, a lot of good wins. And then, as you know, the Big 12 is a grind. But with that being said, I mean, they almost beat Kansas at home. Texas Tech, they had a 3 to beat Texas Tech. We know how good Grant and Texas Tech are. We lost TCU twice. They beat TCU by close to 30. So, I mean, they got our full attention. We know what they're capable of. And like you said, both of us got a win. Both of us had come off a losing streak. Neither of us want to go back to a losing streak. So I think that it'll be a great game. Excited to see what we can do. Hopefully we'll have, I call our fans the 6th, 7th, 8th man. We need them all here at the game cheering us on. So you got to win your home games, and we've got 2 road wins at Oklahoma State, West Virginia. Now we got to start winning at home.
All right. Well, you know, my Aggie, Shoppe she is going to drive up for the BYU game, and she really wanted to come see, her buddy Drew Perry and root on her Bears. So just know that while Buckyball is doing well down there in Aggie Land, and she has attended a couple of those games, her heart is still with the Bears. And she texted me the other day, and she said that she had worn a Baylor sweatshirt across campus. And she said something like, "I feel like an op." I don't totally know what that means, but yeah.
I don't either, but that's cool. She did that. She was definitely the best dressed on College Station that day.
So anyway, she's still trying to represent. Yeah.
And Drew Perry's done a great job with the guys in the team. So it's been a joy having him a part of the program.
Yeah. All right. Well, great to visit with you. And that was it'll be fun. And you got huge games coming up. So thank you for the time. And I had all sorts of thoughts while you were talking about Toon Day there, because I was thinking of him in context of the Darren Peterson thing. I'm sure you watched that last night, and that was that. I mean, the truth is, all those guys have. We've always had incredible freshmen, Scott, but it's just like every once in a while, like a weekend ago, not this past one, but the weekend before, it was like 3 freshmen went off for like 40 points or something. So it's just, as in this portal world that we live in, where, okay, yes, you got to get the portal and you got to solve your team a lot of ways. You can't give up on this one and done thing, can you? I mean, it's like, I know people have wanted you to in some ways, but yet I don't think you can, because like these great teams have these incredible freshmen, don't they?
And that's what's great about sports is there's a lot of different ways to win, and what fits you and what's best for you. And I think the biggest thing is you look at our one and dones. We've had some great young men. They love Baylor. They do a great job representing us in the NBA, and they did a great job helping us here. And I think the whole key is to have a combination. And what I mean by that is in the NBA, probably most teams aren't winning the NBA championship with all rookies, but probably a lot of the playoff teams do have a younger player or two a part of that. I mean, look at the Thunder's age last year, and just their youthful energy and excitement. So I think a healthy combination is great, where you don't rely too much on anything, but at the same time, you don't rule something out and say, well, you can't do this with this. I mean, and there's some great freshmen this year for sure.
Yeah. And that's exciting to the fans, by the way, all this news of like y'all being in on this 5-star and this 7-foot center. And Scott just kind of let us know in a sly manner, like if there's a certain game coming up where you need a lot of people to bring Serbian flags or something, just kind of, let me know. All right.
Okay.
All right.
That sounds great, Matt.
Appreciate it, Scott. Thank you. I appreciate it. Great to visit with you.
Thanks, Matt.
Right. You bet. There he goes. Scott Drew, the Baylor head basketball coach. Always fun to visit with him.